250. And please remember to download both the BarnBurner and Zingo TV apps in their respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. And while you download, please sure to rate and leave a comment. Both apps are 100% free. And Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV sticks, as well as Roku and Roku sticks. And they're also available on all smart TVs 2016 and forward. Now, let's get right into the sports wrap for today. We have a lot to talk about today, folks. First off, we're going to get straight into the NBA for today, where we have a lot of afternoon games here in the NBA today and in the NHL as well. This was due to the NFL playing very early today at 3 o'clock. They wanted to get the scheduling all right and settled, and this is what we got. So Knicks and Celtics played an early game today, and it's not the type of game that you like to see. It's a shorthanded Boston team, but New York takes this one by 30. Final score 105-75. The Knicks moved to 6-8 on the year, while Boston moves down to 8-4 on the season. Julius Randle in this one continuing to put up dominating numbers, putting up 20 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists for the Knicks, leading scorer in this one. R.J. Barrett even put up a double-double as well in this one, 19 points, 11 rebounds, along with 3 assists. And Emmanuel Quigley as well, putting up 17 points and 8 assists for the Knicks. Again, the Knicks win 105-75 against the Boston Celtics. Now, moving on over here, we have the Chicago Bulls. They were taking on the Dallas Mavericks, Zach LaVine versus Luka Doncic. And the Chicago Bulls ended up taking this one over Dallas. Final score 117-101. Zach LaVine in this one did not perform well from the field, but he still ended up putting up a double-double with 10 points and 10 assists. Lauri Markkanen ended up making his debut for the Chicago Bulls for the season as he put up a team-high 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. And for Dallas in this one, Luka Doncic, just a complete player in this one. 36 points, 16 rebounds, and 15 assists in the loss. He did record, indeed, a triple-double in this one. Dallas ends up losing this one, however, 117-101. And a game that just ended today, a close one between the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets. Utah, though, improves their record on the year to 9-4 with a 109-105 win over the Denver Nuggets. In this one, Jordan Clarkson actually led Utah in scoring in this one with 23 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist as well in 30 minutes of action. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert as well putting up pretty good numbers. Mitchell put up 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists, while Rudy Gobert put up a double-double with 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 1 assist. Again, Utah wins this one 109-105. Now, moving on over here, we have 2 games that are currently going on right now. It is the New Orleans Pelicans and the Sacramento Kings, currently with just under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. The Pelicans are up 90-76, and the Pacers and the Los Angeles Clippers are currently playing in the 10 o'clock game tonight. As the first quarter comes to an end, the score is currently 34-26 in favor of the Clippers. Now, moving on here over to the NFL divisional round games. These were some exciting games today, guys. Sadly, I was not able to watch some of them due to work, but just an incredible set of games for these teams right here, and just an incredible feat to be able to make it to the divisional round. And the first game we're going to get into here is the Green Bay Packers and the Los Angeles Rams. Davante Adams versus Jalen Ramsey. We were going to see who was going to go out on top tonight. And to be honest, I was expecting for the Packers, Davante Adams to put up a lot of numbers, but when he was on Ramsey, he only put up 18 yards, but he did put up a touchdown. Total for Davante Adams in this one was 9 receptions for 66 total yards and a receiving touchdown. Green Bay ended up taking this one as well, by the way, 32-18 over the Los Angeles Rams. Aaron Rodgers went 23 for 36, 296 total passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns in the victory. Aaron Jones as well also added just under 100 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown in the win. Aaron Rodgers also added a rushing touchdown as well in the win. Again, Green Bay takes this one 32-18 over the Los Angeles Rams. and they will be taking on a team to be named later. You'll have to find out later on in the show. Now, moving on here, we're going to go on over to the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. And in this one, both teams were very slow to start. 3-3 after the first half, but Buffalo blew it wide open with 2 touchdowns in the third quarter as the Bills end up eliminating the Baltimore Ravens with a final score of 17-3. For the Bills in this one, Josh Allen only went 23 for 37 with 206 yards and a touchdown, but it was enough in this game to be able to get the win. Lamar for Baltimore just did not look too good out there. 14 for 24 with 162 passing yards and an interception. He was only able to get 34 rushing yards in this one. The Bills were really able to stop Lamar Jackson from doing his thing. Stephon Diggs, however, put up 100-plus yards once again this season. He's just been fantastic so far this year. He also put up a receiving touchdown in the win. And again, the Bills end up winning this one 17-3. Now, moving on over to the Kansas City Chiefs as they were taking on the Cleveland Browns earlier today. And this is a scary one for the Chiefs here. Patrick Mahomes ends up getting injured in just near the second half of the game. He did end up leaving the field with a concussion, and we don't know if he's even going to be able to play within the next week. Kansas City was able to win this one 22-17 in a close one. And Cleveland, the Kansas City Chiefs will be moving on to play the Buffalo Bills, but they may not have their main man, Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes in this one, though, before he got injured, he went 21 for 30 with 255 total yards and a touchdown pass thrown. And Chad Henne, the backup quarterback, went 6 for 8 with 66 yards and interception while in relief of Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes also had a rushing touchdown in this one as well. And Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill combined for 219 yards and 1 touchdown between the two of them, with Travis Kelce getting the touchdown for the Chiefs. Chiefs win this one again 22-17 and will be taking on the Buffalo Bills in the conference championships. Now, moving on over to the game that just ended earlier tonight, a few minutes before this show had started, actually. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are taking on the New Orleans Saints, and Tampa Bay takes this one by 10 with a final score of 30-20, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be taking on the Green Bay Packers in the conference championship. Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. That is going to be a crazy game. So no matter what, one of Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers will be in the Super Bowl this year. Tom Brady against the Saints, though, went 18 for 33, 199 total passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns. Brady also ended up getting a rushing touchdown as well. And again, Tampa Bay takes this one 30-20 and will be taking on the Green Bay Packers in the conference championship. Now, moving on over to some of the hockey scores for today and a little bit into yesterday. There are only 2 games going on today. The Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Washington Capitals in a shootout today. Final score in that one was 4-3. For Pittsburgh, we saw everybody only ended up getting 1 point. But at the end of the day, it's a great game for Pittsburgh. You're going up against this Washington team who's already 2-0 on the year, and it's a confidence win for them. Pittsburgh takes it 4-3 in a shootout, and Pittsburgh gets their first win in the new season. Now, moving on, speaking to a team that hasn't played this season, the Florida Panthers were taking on the Chicago Blackhawks in this one, and this game was not really close at all throughout the majority. Florida takes this one with a final score of 5-2 for the Panthers. Jonathan Huberdeau scored a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Patrick Hornqvist got a goal and an assist as well. And Eetu Luostarinen as well, putting up a goal and an assist for Florida, as the final score in that one is 5-2 for Florida. Florida starts off the season with their first game, first win. How do you like it? Now, moving on over to the scores for yesterday, we'll just quickly recap them. The New Jersey Devils ended up beating the Boston Bruins 2-1 in overtime. That was their first win of the season. The Arizona Coyotes beat the San Jose Sharks. Final score in that one yesterday was 5-3, and Arizona gets their first win of the season as well. Toronto Maple Leafs ended up beating the Ottawa Senators last night 3-2. Toronto gets their second win of the season. Ottawa gets their first loss. The Detroit Red Wings doubled up the Carolina Hurricanes 4-2 to see their record move to 1-1. Carolina also goes to 1-1 on the year. Montreal Canadiens were able to beat the Edmonton Oilers 5-1. McDavid just couldn't get anything going as he only registered an assist and 2 shots on goal in this game. 4 players for Montreal getting 2 points. Philip Deneau, Brandon Gallagher, Jeff Petrie, and Thomas Tatar each getting 2 points, with Petrie and Tatar scoring twice, and Deneau and Gallagher with 2 assists. Again, Montreal takes this one 5-1 as they get their first win of the season as well. And the New York Rangers beat the New York Islanders with a final of 5-0. Revenge from the first game. Both teams getting shutouts to start off their years, but both teams also remain at 1-1. Now, the Nashville Predators beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-2 as Nashville moves to 2-0 to start off the year, while Columbus moves down to 0-2, looking for their first win. The Minnesota Wild beat the Los Angeles Kings in overtime once again, 4-3, as LA now moves to 0-2 on the season, while Minnesota moves to 2-0 to start off the year. For Minnesota, Jordan Greenway ended the game with 2 assists in the win for Minnesota. The Calgary Flames took on the Vancouver Canucks as they get a 3-0 shutout win as Jacob Markstrom gets a shutout against his former team, making 32 saves on 32 shots. He was absolutely fantastic in this one. Vancouver had no answers, and Vancouver now moves to 1-2 on the year, while Calgary goes to 1-0-1. And the Las Vegas Golden Knights ended up beating the Anaheim Mighty Ducks in overtime with a final score of 2-1. Mark Stone ended this one with 2 assists in the game. William Karlsson scoring, Pacioretty scoring, and Jonathan Marchessault with an assist as well. Again, final score in that one is 2-1 for Vegas, and Vegas starts off the season at 2-0, while Anaheim moves down to 0-1-1. Now, moving on, we're going to be talking about the waiver wire here for the NHL as the Maple Leafs have placed forward Jason Spezza on the waiver wire as well as goaltender Aaron Dell. Now, the Aaron Dell I'm not surprised about. I think, if anything, Aaron Dell should go over to Edmonton. Edmonton desperately needs a goalie that's able to play and one that doesn't necessarily have to quarantine for as long as somebody who is international. Now, again, Jason Spezza is 37, but he has skated in all 3 games so far this season for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he has registered 1 assist while averaging about 7 minutes and 44 seconds of ice time this season. Now, he did sign a 1-year, $700,000 league minimum deal in October, and he was hoping for one more shot at the Stanley Cup with his hometown team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, Jason Spezza has scored 941 points in 1,126 career NHL games between the Ottawa Senators from 04 to 2014, or 02 from 2014, the Dallas Stars from 2014 to 2019, and the Maple Leafs. He had tallied 25 points with 9 goals and 16 assists in 58 games in his first season with Toronto in 2019. So hopefully, honestly, I think the Leafs at this point should just sign Jason Spezza. He's a really great player. He's a good fourth line guy. He provides some energy for the team. So why not try to pick him up? Obviously, I think this is just due to the Nick Robertson injury and the fact that they weren't able to really put him on LTIR. So they had to dump some salary. So I have a feeling that Spezza, I don't think he'll be picked up by any other teams, but I think Toronto should try to go ahead and get him back up to that NHL team as soon as possible this season. Now, moving on over to Philadelphia Flyers. Yes, Philadelphia. Jakub Voracek has bodies weasels Flyers beat reporter during the press conference, right? This right here is some entertaining stuff, to say the least, right? And this is crazy, right? And this is a second straight win to open the campaign for the Philadelphia Flyers. They have a good team this year, and notorious off-ice trash slinger Jakub Voracek had took to his spot on the podium, right? He had a 2-point night, and he had been asked a fairly unconscious question by a reporter, and he had completely blasted the Flyers beat reporter Mike Selesky on live TV. Yes, folks, live TV with the not safe for work rant that will rank. If you haven't seen this video yet, go ahead and watch this Voracek clip. It's so good. It's a not safe for work rant, and it's going to rank among the ones for returning. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say the quote because I will end up getting in trouble for it. So I won't go ahead and say the quote. Watch the clip for yourself, guys. It is so funny how he just rips into this reporter. This is live on TV, too. It's incredible how much Voracek has been like this before, too, in recent history. So it doesn't surprise me to see him call this reporter and I'm going to say weasel for the sake of this one. Oh, man. Now, moving on over to some more NFL news where we look at the LA Chargers. They're going to potentially be hiring former Rams defensive coordinator Brandon Staley as their new head coach. Now, this was reported by the NFL themselves. So the LA Chargers, they are reportedly trying to get their new head coach. Ian Rappaport reported that the Chargers could be hiring LA Rams defensive coordinator Brandon Staley as their new head coach. Now, Staley is a 38-year-old, and he has been the Chargers' top choice for their head coaching positions. And now, again, he's one of the brightest minds, defensive minds even, in the NFL, and he will get his chance to take over probably the most attractive job in the market right now, because you're helping out to run Justin Herbert. You have a really good team there, a nice team to go off of. And Staley had just wrapped up what is probably going to be his only season as defensive coordinator with the Los Angeles Rams. And the Rams had the number one defense in the NFL in terms of yards allowed per game, right? Passing yards allowed per game, and 18.5 points per game that they had allowed was the best on the season. And in Super Wildcard Weekend, the Rams were matched up against the Seahawks, who couldn't do anything, and then they ended up moving on, but then they ended up losing to Green Bay. So ultimately, Staley's time in LA for the Rams defensive coordinator spot looks to be over, and he will probably be moving over to the Chargers to be their new head coach to start off next season. Now, Staley had began his coaching career in 2006, actually, with Northern Illinois, and he was actually a graduate assistant. He then made the jump to the NFL in 2017 as the outside linebackers coach for the Chicago Bears. He also served in the same capacity with the Denver Broncos for a season in 2019. And now, after just 4 seasons in the NFL, Staley has been given the opportunity to lead this very young Chargers team into the future. Now, again, this is still a developing story, so more will be coming as it goes along. Now, moving on over to our final story here as we look at the MLB rumors so far. Masahiro Tanaka, for example, he is seeking a 1-year contract worth $15 to $20 million in free agency. Wow. I hope at this point he suits up for a different team than New York, because if New York's going to pay that much for him, no. If I'm New York, I'm not giving him that type of contract. I'm letting him walk. But again, a reunion isn't likely in the cards for these Bronx Bombers and Masahiro Tanaka. And especially with the fact that they did just add Corey Kluber. Tanaka, again, has already said he's looking for a 1-year, $15 to $20 million contract. And if he can't find a deal with an MLB team, the rumor out there is saying that he may just return to Japan and stay there, right? He's been a 2-time All-Star, obviously, in the MLB, but he's been unspectacular as of late. He's had a lot of injury-riddled seasons so far, and it's just been terrible to see what has happened to Masahiro Tanaka, because he appeared in 10 games during the shortened 2020 campaign season, and he finished with a 3.56 ERA, a 1.17 WHIP, and 44 strikeouts in 48 innings, which was a drastic improvement, however, from 2019, when he posted a 4.45 ERA in 32 games. Now, Tanaka's bounce-back effort before free agency, it was notable, and he is still just 32, right? Don't get me wrong, he's still a good player, but he figures to have at least a couple more years of production before having to hang him up. A 1-year deal, it does seem like low-risk, high-reward move for a type of pitcher who is postseason tested, multi-time All-Star as well. But Martino suggests negotiations with the Padres have been tepid, and the New York Mets are also going to be serious suitors for Tanaka. Now, perhaps Tanaka potentially may have to lower his asking price for it, but he has proved himself in the past, so it may be likely that we will see a team sign him. But in my opinion here, I don't think it's going to be the New York Yankees that end up signing this guy whatsoever. I just don't see it in the cards for him. And I also just don't see the fact that there's even really a need to go on ahead and sign this guy in the first place. Now, that is the end of the sports wrap for today. This show can also be heard on the BarnBurner Radio Network and its 122 platforms. And you can check out barnburner.ca for all the news. BarnBurner, watch it, hear it, read it,